Good afternoon, fellow classmates, faculty, family, and friends. On behalf of the December 2013 graduating class, I'd like to say thank you for coming to share in this momentous celebration with us. And to the spouses, significant others, and children of our classmates, a special thanks is due, or special thanks is in order for the countless sacrifices you have made along the way for us to be where we are today. So let's give them a round of applause. Man, time flies. What an incredible journey this has been. The friendships that have been forged and the bonds that have been created through our time in school will last us a lifetime. We should all count our blessings to have had the opportunity for the experiences we have shared along this path. You know, I could spend the entirety of this talk reminiscing about the times we shared in school, but I feel compelled to use this time to touch on a few points that have been on my mind as this chapter of our lives comes to a close. When I graduated from undergrad 10 years ago, Bill Cosby was our guest speaker. Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Though I don't really recall much of what he talked about, his opening remarks, I remember them clearly. He made sure we knew that, quote, "The world doesn't know you a damn thing." And in fact, there were a lot of recent grads out there who were struggling just to get by, and they're not really happy about the fact that we were about to be entering the workforce. You know, as a 23-year-old with a wandering soul and an unbridled spirit, his words just made me chuckle at the time. But today these words hit much closer to home. Hopefully, Dr. McCoy's topics class opened everyone's eyes to the truth about the struggles this profession is dealing with as a whole, as well as the financial hardships many individual chiropractors face. If you somehow manage to get through that class without learning this, then yeah, the fact that the world doesn't know us anything might come as a shock. Especially considering the gross misrepresentations we've all been fed throughout this program about the level of success of the average chiropractor. The world may not owe us anything, but we certainly owe it to ourselves to be successful. We have invested too much time, too much money, and passed up way too many opportunities for immediate gratification to not live the life of our dreams. We've earned the opportunity to participate in a profession that we can literally do anywhere in the world that we choose. We have the potential to make huge impacts on the lives of our patients and make a very comfortable living for ourselves and our families in the process. The fact is, in my opinion, we have the coolest freaking jobs on the planet. That said, there are a few things we need to remember throughout our professional careers if we truly hope to fulfill our dreams and see the chiropractic profession thrive. And though we have yet to walk across the stage, it's already very apparent what these things are. The first is congruency. Congruency is the foundation of all personal and professional accomplishments that are achieved with integrity. However you choose to practice, be sure to do it in a way that's congruent with your principles. And not just your chiropractic principles, but your moral and your ethical principles as well. As chiropractors, we need to always remember to do what is best for the patient and the profession, not necessarily what seems best for the chiropractor. I'm not saying it'll always be easy, but it's a simple concept to remember. Practice with congruency. It's the only way that you will truly take pleasure in what you're doing day in and day out. It is absolutely necessary if you plan on enjoying a long chiropractic career. The second thing to remember is to always be prepared. Pardon my language, but as the saying goes, proper planning prevents piss-poor performance. And in our current situation, these words of wisdom are as applicable now as ever. I'm specifically referring to putting in the time to properly plan what needs to be done to open and operate a successful practice, as well as knowing how to execute every action step along the way. I mean, y'all really realize the magnitude of this task? Honestly? And I'll be the first to admit, it was a huge wake-up call when it hit me what this will actually entail. We owe it to ourselves to set out on this endeavor armed to the teeth with the skill sets needed to thrive in practice. Unfortunately, the business component of this curriculum left a lot to be desired, and it's up to us to seek this crucial knowledge elsewhere. Thankfully, there are a few individuals out there with the knowledge and desire to help us succeed because they want to see the profession thrive. On the other hand, there are also management groups out there who are lining their pockets by preying on the fear and ignorance of recent graduates, promoting unethical practice models, and further defaming the public image of our beloved profession. So do your homework. Be careful who you listen to, and question people's intentions, especially if they have a financial stake in what they're telling you to do. Just as we tell our patients that it is easier to prevent chronic issues than it is to correct them, the same logic applies to the development and growth of our practices. Do it right the first time, so that you are not fighting the momentum of misdirected energy or regretting the financial cost of your mistakes. The third and final thing I want to talk about is the need to get involved in the profession outside the walls of our offices. As President Roosevelt once said, every man owes a part of his time and money to the business or industry in which he is engaged. No man has a moral right to withhold his support from an organization that is trying to improve conditions within his sphere. So regardless of which organizations you feel like you're in line with, get out there and show your support. Start now, don't wait until you're already successful in practice. Get physically involved and support them financially. I was in Washington, D.C. last week testifying against the CCE, and I can tell you firsthand, we are engaged in a very, very lopsided battle. As a profession, we have sat idle for far too long, which has allowed the medically minded faction to secure numerous positions of power and create momentum, pushing for an ever-expanded scope of practice. If strategic actions are not taken soon to alter this projected course, it will only be a matter of time before chiropractic as we know it will be completely watered down and crowded out of the profession altogether. So, if you want to protect the profession and your right to practice subluxation-based chiropractic, you need to get involved and you need to start now. Consider this your last call to action as a student or your first call to action as a doctor. As B.J. Palmer said, we have in our possession a sacred trust. Guard it well. In conclusion, I just want to touch on Dr. Kirk's words of wisdom, which were chosen for our class quote. Don't be an ostrich in the marathon of life. I know at first this may sound silly, but unfortunately, this totally sums up how a large number of people live through life day to day. Life is about playing an active, participatory role and making the most of every situation and opportunity for the betterment of yourself, your family, your community, and your profession. So keep your head out of the sand and be sure to live your life with purpose and direction. To my fellow classmates, thank you for so many wonderful memories and unforgettable experiences we've shared throughout the years in this program. I wish us all the best as we conclude this chapter of our lives and begin the journey ahead. Though the road may be rocky at times, we've all got the potential to live the lives of our dreams. Just remember, it's going to take some work. Well, let's get it done. The innate in me blesses the innate in you. Peace.